It's a big day for some students in our area as they head back to class. This morning, the Tupelo Public School District is preparing for its students and staff to walk back into that classroom. And WTVA's Daniela Oropeza is live in Tupelo this morning. Daniela, what's it like there this morning?
Thank you, Bronson. Now I'm still at Milam Elementary School, the 6th grade school for TPSD, but we've changed locations a bit. We're now behind the building, and we will talk about this new parking lot that's coming to campus. But first, I am standing here with Superintendent Dr. Rob Picou. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Daniela.
And I know we're going into your 4th year. How are you coping as superintendent going into your, 2nd year during a pandemic?
Yeah, I'm doing fine as a superintendent and just doing my best to support the teachers and principals and students and parents of this community. Yeah.
And I've talked to several people this morning, and I've noticed several people have their blue and yellow one, but also some pins on their coats. And one that stood out to me was this pin that said one heartbeat. Now, I know that you started that. What is this?
One single heartbeat, yes. When I was working in Point Barrow, Alaska, at the time when Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, and we went down to the Gulf Coast to help rebuild, and what I noticed was so many people were just working together to rebuild that community. And that was also the year the Saints won the Super Bowl. And their theme at that point in time was one single heartbeat. And I just brought that here with this idea that everybody does whatever it takes, calibrated effort to achieve uncommon results, the one single heartbeat.
Now, Dr. Rob Picou is from New Orleans, so very familiar with all of those events. And just hearing you say that kind of gives me chills, remembering what happened then. And, coming back to this year, several students are starting this year again during a pandemic. And how do you think TPSD has handled these new policies and keeping these students safe while excelling in their education?
I think we're doing the best that we can given the new guidance that changes. It's a moving target, so every week sometimes it changes. Sometimes it changes daily. And we try to respond to the guidance from the Mississippi Department of Health and do our very best to provide the safest learning environment that we can for our students and our staff.
And I know that some parents, some guardians may be weary about that, but I know that all parents can get behind on the free school supplies, the free food. How is TPSD able to do this, and what led to that decision?
Our Board of Trustees decided a few years ago now that they did not want any student not to have what that child needs in school. So they decided to make it a priority such that every child would have all the supplies that they need here in the schools. And they made it a board priority, and that's what we did,
And going into a big year, I know it's going to be a great one. I know these are unprecedented times, but I do have hope for this year. And what do you hope that TPSD can achieve this year?
I hope we can keep everybody safe. We can maintain our emphasis on academic rigor, but I also hope we can have fun and we can rebuild the culture that was intentionally dismantled in response to the pandemic last year.
Well, thank you again. Oh, I do want to talk about what's going on here at Milam. This is why we're standing here this morning. There's a lot of enhancements going on at campuses, but what's happening here at Milam?
Well, at Milam, you can see the new parking lot. It's been needed for quite a few years. Every year you come here and there's just cars parked all the way down the street. And we're excited about the new parking lot and the capacity it's going to give our parents to be able to visit the school and get their kids into school and our staff to have a nice place to park.
And I know it's going to relieve some of that traffic here at Crosstown. Well, thank you again for joining us this morning. Yeah. We will have much more in our next hour. Live in Tupelo, Daniela Oropeza, WTVA 9 News.